Naruto Storm games used to be way more fun and feel so much more rewarding. But why is that? Today we're going to be unfolding and exposing the current issues in Naruto Storm Connections, while also discovering what it was that CC2 and Bandai did wrong that made playing past games just feel so much more worth it and immersive. Let's just start at the beginning. Or at least my beginning, which I think a lot of people can relate to. When I first started playing Storm games, I wasn't even sure what the game was fully about. I just wanted to be able to play the story as my favorite characters and get the experience of being a ninja. The fact was that at the time, Storm games were the most visually and mechanically appealing, because before this, all we really had was Ultimate Ninja and Naruto Chronicles, which, let's face it, these were basically Nintendo 64 graphics, and the actual gameplay was more dull than the pencil that I chewed on in 6th grade. Anyways, with that said, it was also really appealing for me and a lot of other people, because if we bought this Storm game, we got almost an hour of anime scenes that had never been shown in the anime before. So essentially, we got about 2 full episodes worth of Naruto for free just for buying the game.
Which is an incentive that we have all but stopped getting when it comes to Naruto Storm games, and even when it comes to buying pre-release copies. And speaking of incentives that we still haven't gotten to this day, whatever happened to getting Anko?
Long story short, I bought the game, I beat the game, and I loved it so much I felt like I just couldn't get enough. The boss fights were amazing and I wanted more, so naturally, I found the online tab. Now, being new to the game, I'll say I probably spammed Rasengan for weeks. It worked in the story mode, and here it was working for me online as well. Or so I thought. You see, because everyone had the same defense and for the most part the same attack power, the only thing that really made one person better than another was their ability to wield a character better than you could wield yours. You see, in Storm 3, these things only got more true. However, you could not just do a combo cancel or link your team attacks together so easily like you can in Storm Connections. You see, back in these days, you actually had to be able to move your hands really fast and have genuine skill and technique to pull off certain combos and techniques mid-battle, such as the flash step or an air tilt. This meant that a lot of people's meta really just revolved around being able to mash your guard until it was broken so that they could pull off an ultimate. This is why Naruto, Neji, and Pain were characters that were more utilized as meta in Naruto Storm 3 and Storm Generations. However, this meta wasn't really so overwhelming because everyone's attack power and defense power were relatively the same. This meant that I could still use my favorite character and stand a chance, so long as I don't put myself in the position to get guard locked or Rasengan. In other words, have a basic understanding for how the game actually works. Worst case scenario, I could always join another game, and the chances are I would get a guy who has a whole different unique team who thought that he had mastered the game with his favorite character. When Storm Connections came out, we pretty much all but lost the ability to do these things and pick our favorite characters. We were now forced to almost play with whatever the current meta is, and we're also forced to play with whatever the current DLC is, the most current DLC is, because that's usually what the current meta is. So while you can do 6 sexy combos and get maybe 20% damage off, your enemy will be able to do just 1 combo and maybe link a jutsu and get 50 to 75% damage off, which means you're putting in twice the work and possibly even twice the skill. But it doesn't matter because your enemy in a sense has a handicap with a damage buff or a speed buff or a guard buff, etc. One of the most prominent backlash effects from these buffs or buff changes are puppets. Not just puppets, but also Kaguya, who basically gets all of the buffs of a puppet without any of the drawbacks. Puppets can attack you while their main body remains safe across the map, given the fact that they move the visible puppet body to you, which can be avoided. They can also dash about 3 to 4 times more for every 1 dash that a normal character can pull off. Kaguya can do every single one of these things without any of the drawbacks. So she pretty much deserves an entire video all to herself, which I will cover. But to make a long story short, puppets have become gods with the buffing system. The buffing system has removed the ability to feel like you are the ninja. Now each player feels as if they have to pick the most powerful character in the anime rather than their favorite character. Naruto Storm Connections is debatably the best Storm game to ever hit the market. However, it still has many quirks that must be worked out if it hopes to maintain its quality and position as one of the best anime fighters out there. Let me know what your guys' thoughts on this is down below. Let me especially know about Kaguya, and if you've had to come up against this and unfortunately meet defeat at the force of this tremendous power. But anyways, peace out, guys.